Hi, welcome back to Selena's Table and our little Aussie homestead. I'm Selena. Today we are going to be making a pumpkin spice cheesecake. This is a cold set cheesecake. There are no eggs in it, so if you have a problem with the eggs, you can eat this one. We've never done a pumpkin cheesecake before, but I have all this pumpkin. It is spring where I live and I don't know why, but my pumpkin vine went crazy very late. And so now I am bombarded with pumpkin and constantly looking for ways to use it. Anyway, felt like a cheesecake, had everything we needed. So I thought, and we had made that pumpkin spice mix the other day. And I thought, why not try a pumpkin cheesecake? So we're going to have a pumpkin cheesecake with pumpkin spice and a ginger nut base. So what you will need, if you would like to make this recipe, is a springform tin. And I'm just going to line this with baking paper, and I'll show you how I do that. So what I have here is the base and some parchment paper, and I'm just going to stick that on top and then push that down and close the spring, and it should, if you've done it correctly, it should hold that paper in there. So I give it a push. If it's not coming out, I know I've done that part right. And then I just fold this paper under. Now, to make this easier to get out of here when it's ready to serve, I've got some more paper here. I've just cut it, well, I folded it into thirds, and I'm just going to cut this just roughly. And this will go around the edge of the tin. I'm going to give this a quick spray with oil just so that it holds the paper. Okay, so this is just some olive oil, just giving that a quick spray on the edge. I don't want too much on the paper. It's really just to hold this in place. And then I'm just going to place it and use the oil like a glue. And I'm only going to need 2. And just like that, our tin is ready. So I'll set that aside. And we will move on to making the base. So the base of this cheesecake, I'm going to use ginger nut biscuits. You can use any plain biscuit you like, but this one is ginger flavored, and I just thought that would go really well with our pumpkin. So this is 1 packet, 200 grams or 250 grams, somewhere in there, straight into the blender or food processor. And we're just going to process these until they're a nice fine breadcrumb consistency. Okay, they're a nice fine consistency, and I'm just going to pop these into a bowl. So to this bowl, we're going to add just 1/4 cup of brown sugar. Give that a quick mix through. And I have a cup of melted butter, but I'm just going to add half. So about 1/2 cup of melted butter. And if we need to add the other 1/2 cup, I will. But I don't think I will need to. I think 1/2 cup. Sometimes I find I need to add more butter depending on the biscuit that I'm using for the biscuit base. So I always like to have anywhere between 1/2 cup and 1 cup. But that's looking nice and moist. And that's the base done. So into our lined tin, we will pour our base. And you just want to press that down, making sure you have even coverage. You can use the back of a spoon, you can use your hand, or you can use a jar, whatever you feel comfortable with. You just want to get a nice firm base layer. And we want that down. Like that. So I'm going to pop this in the freezer while we make the filling for our cheesecake, and yeah, let it set. So I've popped our base in the freezer, and now I'm going to move on to the filling. We're going to need a Kitchenaid or a heavy duty mix master. You can also use hand beaters for this, but I just like to use the easy Kitchenaid. So in my bowl, I'm just going to add 600 mils of cream. Whipping cream, thickened cream, whatever it's called where you are. This one's called thickened cream. If I can get the lid off, okay. We won't be adding any sweetener or anything like that to this. We're just going to whip our cream. And we just want to whip this until it's nice and firm. Like that. Is we're going to put our cream into another bowl and pop it in the fridge while we make the rest of our cheesecake filling. Because I only have the one Kitchenaid bowl. If you had two, you could just pop this one in the fridge and then use your second one for the next step. But I only have the one, so I'm going to pop my cream in the fridge until I'm ready to use it. Our cream is in the fridge. Now we're going to move on to the rest of our filling. I'm not going to wash this bowl, we don't need to. So straight in here, you want to add 2 packages of cream cheese, so 500 grams all up. So 2 packages of cream cheese. And I have 2 cups of pumpkin. That pumpkin, I just steamed that this morning, so it's nice and cold now, but it's just steamed pumpkin. So while my pumpkin and cream cheese are beating together, I'm going to go ahead and start soaking my gelatine leaf. You can use powdered gelatine if you would prefer. I prefer gelatine leaf. It has a stronger hold and you don't get any chance of there being lumpy, grainy bits in it. So you would want 3 or 4 leaves. They look like plastic, they're not, they're gelatine. These need to be soaked in cold water. Once they're squishy, then you can add them to some hot water. So I'll just get that started. So I've just got some cold water in this bowl. This is just the bowl I had the pumpkin in. And I'm just going to pop my leaf gelatine in this. And just let it soak until it's nice and squishy. Our pumpkin cream cheese mix is nicely combined now. I want to add a can of condensed milk and some of our pumpkin spice sugar. This is now pumpkin spice sugar because remember we added sugar to it. If you had just pumpkin spice without the sugar, I would add 1 tablespoon. Because I've added the sugar, I'm going to actually add 2 tablespoons. So we're going to add that to our cream cheese pumpkin mixture. So there you can see it's still got some lumps, but it's nicely combined and such a beautiful colour. So we're going to add this whole can of condensed milk. I'm also going to add 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, which is in this cup, and 2 tablespoons of our pumpkin spice sugar. And give that another beat. Now you can see these leaf gelatines are now squishy and soft. So what we're going to do is we're just going to squeeze out the water, and then we're actually going to add these to some boiling water. So I've got boiling water in this jug, and I'm just going to add my leaf gelatine. There's about 1/4 cup of boiling water in here, and I'm just going to stir it until my gelatine dissolves. I just want to add a couple of tablespoons of vanilla essence, and once you've mixed that in, you want to give this a taste. If it's not sweet enough, you can add between 1/4 and 1/2 cup of powdered sugar. If it is sweet enough for your liking, then just leave it be. Just going to mix that vanilla in and give it a taste. Just going to taste this. That's really nice. Okay, very different take on a pumpkin. I'm happy with the sugar. I'm happy with the spice, because if you're not, now is the time to adjust it. Yeah, no, that's good. That's really nice. So our gelatine is nice and dissolved. I can't really show you. There we go. It's just a liquid now. There's no lumpy bits. It's not grainy. So what we're going to do is we're going to add our whipped cream to this cheesecake mixture, and then we'll slowly pour in our gelatine mixture. Okay, so I'm just going to add our whipped cream out of the fridge. And while the machine is running, I will drizzle in. While the machine is running, I'll drizzle in our gelatine mixture. So you can see that it's nice and thin. So now everything is in here. I'm just going to clean off the beater and give everything just a quick stir with my spatula. I'm going to give everything a quick stir with the spatula just to make sure the gelatine and the cream are well incorporated into the whole mixture. There are a little bit of lumps in here, but that is from the cheese because it was too cold. Room temperature cheese will work better. We will be fine. We will survive with a few little lumps. At least it's not gelatine lumps because they're gross. So there we go. That's ready to be popped back into the cheesecake base. Okay, I've taken the base out of the freezer and it's nice and hard, so that's perfect. And we'll just pour the filling straight on top. So this will need to set in the fridge for about 4 to 6 hours, and then it will be ready to cut and decorate however you like. I'll probably put some whipped cream on top and a sprinkle of our pumpkin spice sugar, just for a little bit extra, and even some walnuts would be nice on top. So yeah, there you go. Thank you for spending time with me in the kitchen today as we made a new favourite, I think, the pumpkin spice cheesecake. I hope you have a wonderful week.